Why is Fate, the Winx Saga, being called out for being Riverdale? Why are fans calling the show's casting tone deaf? And which of the original fairies have been cut from the squad? Hi, I'm Janet, and welcome back to Alfea, a new aesthetic. Yes, the wait is finally over. After months of teasing their brand new fantasy series, Fate, the Winx Saga, Netflix has finally dropped their long-awaited live-action full-length trailer, and fans couldn't have been more excited. Bringing both fantasy and fiction and blending it in with some good old-fashioned high school drama, it looked like the Winx fairies were back in action and ready to take their place as one of Netflix fan-favorite series. And then they dropped the trailer. One quick glance at the new trailer proved that fans were definitely going to be getting a different version of the iconic Winx Club series than the one that they had grown up watching. And well, it seems that Alfea's finest have undergone a major change in aesthetics, and it has Twitter in a complete uproar. When fans reminisce about the much-loved Winx Club, they are immediately reminded of its bright color palettes, mythical creatures, fairies, and witches galore. It's a mystical goldmine, but it turns out that the show's producers decided to ditch the bright, sparkly, sequined Winx world and switch it out for a denser, more mystical look. Gone are the over-the-top costumes and sparkly magical elements, as the new live-action remake has donned a much edgier and darker look that is unlike the more colorful aesthetic of the original cartoon. But fans weren't just annoyed by all the sudden visual change, they were totally confused. Winx stans openly questioned if any of the show's execs had even watched the original version. Some wondered if the show had experienced major budget cuts, given the fact that it was missing its signature fashionable outfits, magical set pieces, and wonderfully cheerful colors. And with all of these questions filling every Netflix producer's feed, they revealed why they decided to switch out the look of one bubblegum-colored the show. Turns out they totally made the change on purpose. The 6-episode series was given this dark twist thanks to creator Brian Young, who is famous for using gloomy filters and darker themes on the set of his shows. One of his most famous works, The Vampire Diaries. See how the darker themes could have inspired Winx? He claimed that the idea here was to make the show a little more age-appropriate, as those that had grown up watching the animation were substantially older now. According to the producer, the darker look is more on brand for the targeted age group. Regardless, Winx fans took to the trailer's comments section to complain at the unwelcomed grunge look, with some even claiming that the show had been clearly Riverdale, as the vibrant outfits had been switched out for more neutral shades. So, if you were hoping for early 2000s nostalgia, then you aren't going to get it here. There will be no giant anime eyes, big hair, or artsy outfits. Essentially, don't expect the action series to look anything like the original, okay? Winx has gone dark, and you clearly need to get on board. Tone-deaf casting. The new fantasy series, Fate, the Winx Saga, follows a number of key themes. From everything fantasy to all-consuming mystical powers, this show is all about portraying magic, friendship, and power. But it seems that disappointed fans have found another theme to the new Netflix series: whitewashing. Ouch. This is where white actors are chosen to play the roles of characters that are originally people of color. And well, this isn't exactly the first time Netflix has been called out for whitewashing. It seems that instead of sparking incredible joy with all their Winx fans' hearts, this new series adaptation has only gone on to spark some serious backlash. So why are fans canceling the show before it even premieres? Because of its lack of diversity. Netflix was called out for replacing characters Flora and Musa, who were originally of Latinx and Asian heritage, with white actresses. In the original animation, fans noted that Flora, who was the delicate fairy of nature, had her signature dark brown hair and was voiced by Latina actress Alejandra Reynoso. Musa, who is the exciting fairy of music, was a dark-haired character that was of Japanese-American descent and voiced by Japanese-American actress Romy Danes. But in this adaptation, it seems that Flora's character has been completely changed. She is now Terra, whose Latin American roots have been completely deleted. Fans were not pleased with the fact that the streaming site had removed the show's people of color that were clearly in the original cartoon. One fan even took to Twitter to share her disappointment. Honestly, they just killed my entire childhood by releasing this. Who the hell was in charge of casting? Because wow, this is all wrong. Where's the Latina Flora? The Asian Musa? And why is Techna missing? Netflix letting me down already. Another Winx fan shared how Musa's character had a major impact on her life. Musa was one of the only characters with Asian representation I had as a child. I did not grow up with Winx Club just for Netflix to whitewash Musa and Flora," said Twitter user @CosmicWin. It seems that the show has decided to opt out of an even racial split and any form of ethnic diversity amongst the main fairy characters. There is only one main character that is a person of color, and that burden has been put on Aisha, the only black fairy. On the other hand, some fans did express their love for their body positivity and fair representation of different body types that the live action promoted, especially given the fact that the original animation had admittedly unrealistically proportioned characters. Netflix has yet to comment on these whitewashing claims, so it seems like we're all just going to have to wait in anticipation. But we think it's fair to say that it's going to be rather difficult getting out of this one. An incomplete fairy squad? Another day, another Winx controversy. It seems that our beloved throwback mystical show is continuously upsetting its fans. This time around, it's because they have decided to cut some of the original fairies from the group. In the animation, we had Fairy of Water Aisha, who is currently being played by Precious Mustafa, the Gentle Fairy of the Mind, Musa, played by Alicia Applebaum, Elliot Salt, playing the chatty and grounded fairy of Earth, and the lovable headphone-wearing fairy of royalty, Stella, who is played by Hannah Vander Vesthazen. But before we get into exposing which of these fairies have been ditched from the group, did you know that these fairies were largely based on some of the most popular celebrities from the early 2000s? Stella is said to be based on Britney Spears, Cameron Diaz, Musa on Lucy Liu, Aisha on Beyonce, and Flora on Jennifer Lopez. This approach was part of the creators' vision to create fairies that represent the women of today. They wanted their characters to look more modern than classic. Cool, huh? Well, it seems that while many appreciate the fun celeb throwback, it wasn't enough to distract Winx fanatics from noticing that two very important fairies were cut from the live-action adaptation. Flora, the fairy of nature, and Tekna, the fairy of technology, were noticeably absent. In another wave of disappointment, it seems that they also cast aside the characters Sky and Riven from the Netflix show, which fans clearly didn't appreciate. Rumors circulating mention that these characters may appear later in the series, but there is no concrete evidence on these claims. Sigh. Say goodbye to the tricks. It seems that our pastel glitter dreams, cheerful landscapes, and bright energies aren't the only things that Netflix is removing from the original Winx Club. It seems that they have also removed the show's famous 3 evil witches too. We know, bold move. If you haven't had a moment to catch up on the recent trailer, you'll be rather shocked to see that the Tricks, who continuously chose to target Bloom and the rest of the fairy girls, will not be making an appearance. The 3 witches that we all loved to hate, including Stormy, Icy, and Darcy. These fiery villains that continue to give magic a bad name have been painfully and abruptly cut from the storyline. So if you were hoping to witness them casting their medieval spells, pushing their wickedly memorable vendettas, or watching the villainous trio of witches destroy the magic dimension, you're going to have to go back to the animation. It seems that in the live-action version, having the Wicked Sisters didn't fit in with the existing script, which meant the end of the Witches of Cloud Tower, serving us all their evil gothic realness. This left many fans to question how the new adaptation would still contain its high-energy fighting scenes if the show's most popular villains weren't in it. Who's going to try and destroy Bloom? Who's going to try and turn the world into an evil, spellbound realm? And who are the fairies going to fight in a chilling battle? With so many gaping holes in the storyline, fans have urged the show to shed more light on how the show is going to work, because according to viewers, the current live-action version is destroying their childhood memories. Yikes. Fashion fails. When it comes to discussing stylish cartoon characters, it would be absolutely ridiculous for you to not mention the Winx Club. In fact, one quick look at the animation will prove that these fairies may have a number of superpowers, and style is definitely one of them. So yes, at the most basic level, these girls may have just been animations, but their fashion choices were impeccably well thought out and coordinated. Did you know that each of the girls had a team of specialized artists that would design each and every one of their outfits for each season? So yes, the Winx fairies had a team of professional stylists. And well, the proof is in the show. Having each character play around with various colors, textures, and styles was just another way for the girls to express their individuality. From sequins to miniskirts, matching sets, and jackets to die for, it seemed that these girls had access to our dream closet. According to several reports, the designers actually developed the girls' costumes by creating collages from magazine clippings of recent fashion trends. They would mix and match from various style guides, test out different color palettes, and make sure that they celebrated women embracing their natural curves. clothes, feeling liberated, and finding outfits that accentuated that freedom. So you can imagine the disappointment of every Winx fan when they discovered that the recent trailer had the girls in rather drab outfits. In fact, this led many fans to question why the live-action adaptation chooses to ignore one of the show's original core themes, fashion. Many viewers even asked whether or not Netflix's designers had even consulted with any teens from today in order to better gauge how they dress. So, to help them out, it seems that fans were happy to give a few examples of shows that are nailing teen style. At the very top of their extensive list was none other than Netflix's musical show, Julie and the Phantoms, which they believed truly captured how teenagers dress. Second to Julie and the Phantoms was Riverdale. According to fans, this show is, quote, totally on brand in terms of its fashion choices. So, with that being said, we want to know, what are your thoughts on the adaptation? Do you think it's going to work? And will you be tuning in on January 22nd for the season premiere? Let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching!